Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at the Bicycle Sea Creatures deck from Brain Vessel. Brain Vessel is a gallery based in Pennsylvania, and one of their founders, Jason Kreiger, was actually the one who illustrated this deck. Now, Brain Vessel's done a lot of different decks over the years, most of them released on Kickstarter, but this one is a little bit of a throwback. This one goes all the way back to 2015 and is one of their earlier decks. It is, of course, inspired by some of the majestic creatures of the ocean. So let's take a look at it, find out how they did. All right, we're going to start, as we usually do, with the tuck case. And it's printed on this matte stock with a pearl finish to it. And the pearl finish gives it this sort of shine or sheen to it, almost kind of a golden film over the top of it. I love the effect of that. It almost gives it a patina to the entire deck. I really like that. It's something they do on a few of their other decks as well, but really beautifully done on this deck. It is, of course, bicycle branded, so you have the bicycle banner classic across the top. Background for that is a detailed map scene. So it's a map of the US. You can make out Africa over here on the right and South America on the left. So really fine detail of the map there. And then the main image is, of course, the first of our sea creatures. It's a blue whale leaping out of the ocean. Really beautifully drawn, hand-drawn art style. You can see all of the different details, everything from the splash of the water as he leaps out to even just water splashing off of the fins as he sweeps through the air. So really beautifully done, hand-drawn art style. And then the border over here is made up of a very organic feeling octopus tentacle mixed in with seaweed, just kind of winding their way up the sides of the deck. Really cool look to it. And that sheen just gives it a really nice feel to the whole thing. Have a little bit of a fleur-de-lis down here at the bottom, and the whole thing is subtly embossed. It's not a super deep emboss, but it's enough to give the deck a really nice feel to it and a really upscale feel. So that's the front of the tuck. On the sides, you've got a little plate there with sea creatures, a little bit more map detail. Same thing on the other side. Bottom has your ad copy for Bicycle and the USPCC, who of course printed the deck. Top just has a little bit more of the map, and the back's going to be the back design of the cards. It is, of course, an embossed version. We'll look more at the details in a second as we get to the cards. You do get a custom tuck seal. It is just the Brain Vessel logo. They use this on most all of their decks. It's a brain, it's a vessel, it is Brain Vessel. Inner flap here has another Brain Vessel logo. Mentions that it's produced by Brain Vessel and illustrated, as I said before, by Jason Kreiger. A little bit more map detailing on the inner flaps. And on the interior of the tuck, you get that beautiful blue foil. It's just a flat color all the way through. Really nice touch. Love that pop of color as you open up the deck. And if you look on the inside, you can see the reverse of some of that embossing that goes on the rest of the deck. So really beautiful tuck, beautiful pearl finish to the whole thing. Big fan of what they did there. But let's see if it carries through to the cards. And we'll start with the back design. Here it is. So slightly more muted colors than we're looking at on the tuck, but it's the same design as we were looking at before. Formed up of a pair of octopi on the top and the bottom. Now the art style for this, it's inspired by scrimshaw. Scrimshaw is an art that sailors would practice on ships to kind of pass the time. They would take large whale bones or something similar and carve super intricate patterns with a knife or a needle or something to form these aquatic or naval or different scenes. It would take hours to do, form beautiful pieces of artwork, and that was sort of the inspiration here. And if you zoom in, you can see how that comes in with those little hatch lines there forming the shading, etc. That's really kind of borrowed from the art of scrimshaw. So really beautifully done, tons of detail, and I love the use of octopi on this. It's a very organic feel with the tentacles just twisting all around the card. I love that despite that they use two octopi and that they're interacting with each other, meaning their tentacles are kind of intertwined with each other, it still forms a completely two-way back design. It's really well done to give it still a very natural feel, but at the same time keep it a two-way functional back design. The background of the card has these little wavy lines for the water, and you have a super thin rope border all the way around the edges. Finishes out in this kind of parchment colored medium thin poker border, and the octopus tentacles are kind of breaking the border at different spots to kind of maintain that natural feel. So really beautiful design. Love the kind of weathered muted tones that they used on it. Just really beautifully drawn. Now going to the cards themselves, the first two are going to be the jokers, and it is a diptych joker. Diptych just means a single image that's put together, you know, when you put the two cards together. So two separate images that can be put together to form one. And so it forms out this epic battle scene of a sperm whale locked in with a giant squid as they kind of tussle under the water. Really beautiful red and blue between the two, and the two jokers have the compass rose and the star in the corners to finish it out. And it is sort of a reversible image, so depending on if you want the giant squid to be winning or the sperm whale, you can kind of flip it either way. Image works either way. So really nicely done. Love the artwork on those. Love the epic scale of the battle there. You also get an ad card for Brain Vessel, mentioning their websites, and a double backer. Good for Magic. Extra little gaff card included. Now let's get into the rest of the deck, and we'll start with the Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades features a giant squid as the primary animal, and it's kind of bent into, with all of its tentacles twisting into the shape of a larger spade that it's kind of entrapped in here. Really love the symmetrical twisting of the tentacles, and the squid fits very nicely in as the spade. The background is this really faint shimmer of water with a little green fish swimming in the back to finish it out. So really, really nice Ace of Spades design. You do have a pretty classic, slightly custom pip and index styling there, but nothing too out of the ordinary. Nice, readable, and then a little black line to give it a little bit of extra shape. So that is the Ace of Spades. The number cards are pretty standard layout. You do get some slightly custom pips in that they're sort of, you can see the little bit of chipping there around the edge to give it, again, that sort of worn look that you might see from an old map or something like that. Now the pips are actually chipped in exactly the same way, meaning it's just a copy and pasted pip. I do like it when they do a little bit more individualistic weathering. That said, it's such a subtle weathering here that it doesn't really detract at all from the deck. But pretty standard layout to the number cards, nothing too special there. Nice small pips. And then you get to the quartz, and these are really beautifully done. Each one's going to feature a different animal. You get a little banner down the center to let you know which one you're looking at. All the different creatures of the sea, and this one has the poisonous and beautiful lionfish with its kind of flare of fins there and the striped patterning. Really beautifully illustrated, reflected on the other side to keep it a two-way quart, and with that kind of water blue background behind. Really like the artwork again on these. I love Jason Kreiger's style throughout. You do get a very natural border all the way around that's kind of formed up with this brown colored kind of monotone image of coral reefs, starfish, fish, seaweed, just bending all the way around the deck. So very, very cool border to it. Love the artwork on these core cards. And like I said, every single one's going to feature a different image. You've got the Portuguese man o' war on the Queen of Spades, and the giant squid from the Ace of Spades makes his appearance again as the King of Spades. Really beautiful. The diamonds are going to be much the same as what we saw with the spades, just they're now done in a bright red color. And then into the quartz for the diamonds, so you've got the moray eel, the devilfish, kind of a stingray there, and the seahorse. And then into the clubs, which are all inspired by sharks. You've got the ever famous great white shark jumping out of the water there. Really striking. I love the menacing look of the bull shark too, as it looks kind of right into your eyes. And then the hammerhead shark on the jack of clubs. And then down through the club number cards. Only the ace of spades is a power ace, so even as you get to the other aces, they're going to be pretty standard. Just a small pip there in the center. And then last but not least are the heart courts. So our blue whale from the front of the tuck makes another appearance. Dolphins for the queen of hearts, a pair of dolphins jumping around together, very much kind of pack animals. And then the sea turtle as the jack of hearts. Almost looks like it's smiling there. And then down through the heart number cards and finishing with the ace of hearts. That's the deck. As far as handling, it's a bicycle branded deck. USBCC prints some of the best handling decks right out of the box, so it's going to fan beautifully, cut beautifully. The actual elements there where it breaks the border will give you kind of nice details on your fans as well. So just a really beautifully handling deck. Can't complain there in any way. It's usually the case with USBCC. I think what we've kind of come to expect. What about the usefulness of the deck? I will say, it's a great art deck, one that I think would look phenomenal as an uncut sheet or something like that with all of the beautiful artwork. It's also a highly functional deck, one you can absolutely use for gameplay or magic. Handles well enough for cardistry, so it's pretty much one of those decks you can use for anything at all that you want, or just enjoy it for the beauty on the shelf as an art deck. So that's it. That is the look at the Bicycle Sea Creatures deck from Brain Vessel. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure you subscribe for more deck reviews and unboxings, and let me know what else you want to see, and I'll see you for the next one.